Welcome to Punt Balls where the game begins. Betting on sports with our expert spins. From football fields to courtside drills. Punt Balls podcast, we pay the bills. Punt Balls, no win and play. Join us now every sports day. Tips and picks that never fail. Punt Balls podcast, set yourself.
Oh, yeah, we are back. Punt Pals podcast. Hello, I'm Robbie Vaughn. This is the King, Nick Ristovic. G'day, Nick. How are you, buddy?
Great, man. Going well, thank you. King, that's a big rap. I'll take it.
Oh, mate, you are what you are. The King. How are things tracking, man?
Yeah, good, mate. Yeah, no, had a bit of a loogie the last couple of days, as you do with young kids. So I'm just on a recovery from that. But, no, going well, mate. It was a big weekend, wasn't it?
It was a massive weekend. When you look at the footy and all that sort of stuff, you just go, geez, it was only 7 rounds, but there was a lot of headlines. So we do have a lot to get through today. Before we do anything, though, how's your weekend been, mate? We haven't really caught up in the last week, so I'm interested to hear what you've been doing.
Yeah, we've got to schedule a beer in soon. It was good, mate. I went down south under the unfortunate circumstances of having to go to a funeral, which was a bit shizer on Saturday. But
Oh, sorry, mate.
got a chance to catch up with all the lads from the Busso days back in the day and relive all those former football glory stories, which was quite cool. Went for a bit of a fish. It was a bit of a bust with my old man and brother. We caught absolutely nothing and lost about $50 worth of tackle in 10 minutes. So
Damn.
and then listened to Freo on the radio as I was driving through there down to Dunsborough for the funeral. And, mate, it's hard to not get excited after that bloody win, I'll tell you what.
Oh, my God. What was that, 124 points? 124?
Yeah, lazy franchise record, mate. Yeah. 19 goals straight. Not that anyone's, keeping receipts at all.
Have you bought the grand final tickets yet?
Nah, we've got to get this bloody bet up, mate, so I can afford me flights. Might be dipping in. So that was pretty cool, mate. And just one thing I'd say on Bunbury is it just got a terrible rap on our broadcast while they were, featuring the Fremantle game. Brian Taylor was paying out Bunbury being industrial silo town. Lots of jabs at Bunbury, but spent a couple of days there on the weekend and the weather was nice. It was actually quite pleasant, really.
Interesting. I did hear that, actually. I didn't hear the actual comments, but I heard about them. So, couldn't be more wrong. Bunbury's awesome.
Yeah, it goes right, mate. But, it was a good weekend. How about you, mate? What did you get up to?
Oh, mate, I was around and about. Saturday night, I went to the West Coast game, actually, and that was really cool to see. I thought it was interesting because the Eagles did lose by about 6 points in the end. But it was strange just chatting with Eagle supporters around the stadium and everything. I think their demeanour's changed a bit. They've gone from being angry about losing all the time to being more happy that they're putting in competitive efforts now. Yeah. So I think the whole sentiment around the Eagles is changing quite a lot. So that was cool to see.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, to your point, like they've knocked off a couple of teams. They've had a few more wins than last year. You can see the progress and the green streaks coming through. So I think that's probably why they're a bit more patient now, isn't it?
I think it might be. So, and that was cool to see because it's good to be able to go to a game as a neutral supporter and see a good game of footy rather than a flogging. So that was great, mate. The other thing I went to the Paddo. You know the Paddo, one of your old stomping grounds.
100 beer challenge, mate. Remember back in the day?
Yeah, didn't do the 100 beer challenge last Sunday. I just had a Sunday roast. But yes, I do know what you're talking about. You'd be on the board there, wouldn't you?
Oh, mate, that's the younger days I was, mate. Yeah, Centurion.
Love it. I can imagine that you were an absolute unit back in the day, Nico.
Oh, one of my mates worked behind the bar there from down south. And let's just say there are a few promo beers on the house there, mate, when we'd head there for after party drinks. So how was the race, mate, the Paddo? Good little Sunday roast or what?
Mate, very good. Big, like very sizable, and it was delicious. They had like a slow-cooked beef brisket and stuff. It was really good. I'd recommend it.
Yeah, we might need to go this weekend for a couple of frosts, mate.
Lock it in.
Would you?
Lock it in?
Would you?
Yeah. Love that. Love that from you. All right, let's do that. Hey, mate, we're going to roll straight into listener questions today because people have been getting amongst it, getting in touch with us on Instagram and on Facebook there as well. So I'm going to kick off with one for you. And this is for Nico. David from Palmyra. Who is Freo's most improved player this year and who has sort of taken you by surprise?
It's tough to single out one. What I would say holistically is Freo's bottom 5 players last year were probably holding the rest of the club back in some way, shape or form. So you get another preseason into Isaiah Dudley, who came on the scene without a proper AFL preseason under his belt. He's been enormous. But the progression of Erasmus Johnson, Carl Warner, Wagner, those guys have all collectively gone to another level, which I think is the big difference. Is you're not carrying any passengers, and you can't really be exploited by opposition sides when those guys are performing at the level. So, collectively, I'd say probably the most impressive for me is probably someone like a Matt Johnson, who was a fringe player, really struggling to hold his spot on the side. Now he plays a significant role every week in terms of being an inside body midfielder, and his progression has been really good, so much so that there's interstate clubs knocking on the door for Rasmus and Johnson. So that talks to their quality this year. And I reckon that's why they're going a lot better, mate. They're just more even around the ground.
Love that from you. And I think it's interesting you mentioned the bottom 5 players, because it's kind of a traditional thought that the bottom 5 players on your list make up the premiership team. You know, it's if those guys are performing, that's where you're going to win all your games. So it looks good for Freo.
It does indeed, mate, for sure. I've got one for you. Ben from Kareen. What is your early take on the Monaco F1s? Who are the key players? Who should I be backing? So there's some people really keen on your F1 content here, mate. So you might have to steer us into one if you can.
Love that from you. So we had Monaco last weekend. We've got Barcelona this weekend. Monaco was interesting. Traditionally, quite a boring race. If you qualify in the top 2, you're probably going to win it. Like, that's just the way it goes. And that happened with Kimi Antonelli. He absolutely dominated. Lewis Hamilton was second. But the real story was in the 7 DNFs that did not finishes. Verstappen actually didn't get past the starting line. His car conked out and at lights out. So that was interesting. Leclerc, who's from Monaco, he crashed again. He has so much bad luck at that track. So there was lots of teams that just did not finish. Lando Norris as well. Yeah, it was an interesting race. Antonelli now the outright leader by like 66 points, so it's his to lose. Going into Barcelona, hard to see him losing the way he's driving. George Russell, his teammate, who's supposed to be the senior guy, he doesn't look like he's in touch at the moment. Max Verstappen, the one to look out for, he does really well in Barcelona. Red Bull cars love Barcelona. And Isaac Hadjar, his teammate, came third on the weekend. So Red Bull does have a bit in it if it can stay together. So I reckon Max Verstappen, top 3 is your best bet.
Yeah, okay. And what are we getting for that roughly?
About $2.
Couple of bucks?
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, you can get him to win for 8, but it's a stretch.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so
that's, that's pretty good, mate. I'm happy with the $2 on this weekend for sure.
Get in there. Get it in one of your multis.
Get in there.
Now, mate, we've got Harrison from Scarborough here. This one's for you. What's going on here? Keen to organise an event for the lads at Belmont. Hopefully we're invited. It's for a Bucks party. Any suggestions in terms of what Harrison could book?
I've had a surprising amount of people hit me up about this stuff the last couple of weeks since we've gone live with Belmont. A very embarrassing video of me touring the whole facility went live on social media and LinkedIn this morning, and
another one.
Just been copping grief left, right, and centre, mate.
Some good gear going on.
More grief than I get when I have a couple of losing multis. But Harrison, I think, look, if you're looking for something private, and obviously Bucks parties, you want to get up to a bit of mischief, and you don't want prying eyes around, particularly those older members who probably would find some of that behaviour quite offensive.
It's a bit ageist, mate.
You want to, well, it is, mate, but you know. You don't want to be rocking down to Belmont in a chicken suit on a Saturday there walking through the members, do you? Or maybe.
Why not? What's your problem with chicken suits?
Well, I might have done it, mate. I might be speaking from some of the mischief I've got up to in the past. But you probably want to go corporate suites there, I reckon, Harrow. Under $200 up there in the suites, drink some food all day, and you can have your own private room, and whatever you get up to in there, it's none of my business.
Under $200 a head.
Yeah, mate. Yep, $195 I think for non-members and $185 for members for 5-hour food and bev package up there. It is, one of Perth's best kept secrets, mate. To be honest.
Minimum amount of people.
You got suites from 12 people up to 36 people.
Yeah, nice.
So there's 5 or 6 different options up there, but you get a pretty awesome view of the track, and yeah, you can have a punt. You've got all your private tote facilities in your own suite. It's really a punter's dream, mate, to be honest.
Okay, all right. Well, maybe we should just do a Punt Pals podcast
I think so.
Racing day there. I don't know. Maybe we could work out some good rates for it there, Nick.
Yeah, I reckon, mate. I was saying that. I was like, why haven't I done it myself? All right, the next one, mate. Scotty from Albany. Merritt seemed to rack up a lot more posies on the weekend, which was good for the punt off half back, but he turned it over a lot. Is he better in the middle or off half back?
He's better in the middle. I don't like halfback. We tried him a lot there last year as well, and he just didn't rack up the posies. I think he's a midfielder. He's a bull. He is a superstar. He's got to be in the midfield. I know what you're saying about halfback, but nah, he's got
Do
to
you
be in
know,
the midfield.
and one thing on this too, I noticed a lot of commentary online about how many had backed Archie Roberts to rack up big numbers, and as soon as Merrick went back there, he stole a lot of his footy, and people lost their multis.
Yes. Yep.
So
Yep.
there was a big hoo-ha about that over the weekend. I think Archie Roberts only ended up with 22 off 35 the week before, I believe. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, he's got way over 25 every single week except for when Zaka goes down there. So it's not good for the punters. But yeah, that's crazy. Oh, some good questions there. Thank you very much to David, Harrison, Ben, and Scotty as well. Mate, I just wanted to very quickly, I just want to really rip into this one, Heroes of the Week.
I can be your hero, baby. Don't be a hero, mate. Heroes of the week.
Just a quick one to throw out there today. I think it might be a double-barreled one, actually. Neil Danaher, at the time of recording, his state funeral will be taking place as we speak. So we all know what Neil's done with MND, or Free's MND, and how that whole charity has just taken off. He's left an amazing legacy, so he's a hero of the week. But along with that, mate, there was a couple during the big freeze who a couple of weeks ago, they're big mining magnates or construction magnates over in Queensland. They got inspired by what they saw Neil doing, donated $10 million. Then on the day of the big freeze, donated another 30 mil. So they've donated $40 million to MND this year. Amazing.
well, that's probably one of the biggest donations of all time, surely.
It's got to be up there in Australia, right?
Well, most definitely. And like, a lot of people will say, oh, there's a tax write-off, but you're not getting $40 million back in tax write-offs, I wouldn't have thought. It's got to be capped, doesn't it?
Oh, well, you would think so. Yes. Personally, I wouldn't know.
Goodwill.
But
Genuine goodwill in there.
I think I saw an interview with the guy and it did look like genuine goodwill. He's an older fella, be in his 70s, I'd say. Him and his wife made the donation. And I think it was just a really good thing to do. So well done to them.
Yeah, that's an enormously accurate nomination this week for the Hero of the Week. And what I just wanted to touch on quickly was how amazing was it to see the saturation of beanies there at the MCG this year. It went to a whole new level, didn't it? I had people that don't watch much footy sort of from New Zealand texting in saying, you know what's with these beanies? Everyone's got one. Like, it's a big freeze game. It's becoming sort of an iconic day where, you won't see more people support a single cause on any major sporting event in my mind.
I think you're absolutely right. It was a sea of blue beanies and it looked spectacular. So, I mean, really good effort to everybody involved. And we just know that this is going to keep going. So, Vale Neil Danaher, and such an amazing effort for what he's done over the years. I don't know if there's much you want to go through with last week's bets, because all I can say to you, mate, is of my 4 multis, 3 of them missed out by a leg, and then I didn't go very well in the Gold Coast Brisbane game. So I've really got nothing to speak about this week from last week's bets.
I don't mean to rub salt into the wounds, mate, but I had an absolute belter.
Oh, yeah. Tell me more.
Well, obviously, starting off, 2 multis went pretty short this week in terms of just providing the 2 and focus on quality, not quantity. And Freo vs North had Amos 2, Voss 2, Darling anytime, Murphy Reid 20, and it was pretty much done by 3/4 time at 4.20, so that was good. Also said Freo at the line at $1.90 was really good value, and they absolutely pumped them by 100 plus, so that was an easy watch.
Boom.
And then in multi 2 in the Q clash, I had Brisbane to win, which was the big value at $2.40. Charlie to kick 2, Walter anytime, Anderson 22, Noble 20, and they went bang at $5. So I was 2 from 2, and we tipped Brizzy to win in the upset, and they looked fairly comfortable throughout, didn't they? 30-odd point winners.
Yeah, it was all a little bit easy for Brizzy there in the end, which makes it interesting because they've been the team that have sort of played out of form, and now, I don't know, the Gold Coast, where are they at? We'll explore that in our AFL rundown in a few minutes' time. But well done to you, mate. That's a really good effort.
Mate. Yeah, my niece feeling I didn't roll them in together at the 23 or 24 to 1, would have should have been nice. But I did have a 225 to 1 multi across all games. I usually send you one of these cheeky ones most weeks. I didn't on the weekend because I'm 0 from 10. But had one across 5 games, and the only one I missed out on was 1 leg, and it was Elliot Yeo for 16 posies. I think he had 15 on the day. So, like, it just goes to show, like, it was ridiculous, man. Some of the legs were lobbing the last 2 minutes of each game. I thought I'm on here, and then one posi for the whole entire $225 multi to go down would have been $2,000 for me.
And Yo is usually a lock for 15. You wouldn't even be questioning that most of the time.
Like 15 or 16, I can't remember exactly, but one posi off, and would have been paid out with green tab, as everyone reminded me when I spooked it online. Just get back in your box, you guys. It's already stings enough without being told I should be betting with someone else.
You don't need to be told again.
So anyway, no, it was a good weekend for the punt in that sense. But we'll talk about the challenge bet later, which went down in flames. But
that was rough.
We'll gather ourselves and go again this week, mate.
That was rough. All right, let's have a look at this weekend's footy. We'll start off with the Western Bulldogs and the Adelaide Crows. Thursday night footy, Marvel Stadium. The Doggies $1.77, Adelaide $2.10. Now, both sides are coming off big wins over premiership contenders. This is going to be a good game. Dawson was an absolute hero last week with 22 touches, 3 goals and 9 tackles. He is just leadership quality for the Crows there. And the Bulldogs came from 5 goals down to beat Hawthorn. The Bont and Bailey Dale did all the damage there. So the Dogs won the earlier season meeting, 94-88 between these two teams. Can Adelaide travel to Melbourne and get it done? That is the big question.
Well, I don't think so, mate. I think Adelaide were limping to the finish last week. One on the bench in the last quarter, which made the win even more impressive. But you're just leaving too much to too few. I think Jordan Dawson and even Tex Walker had to carry their forward line, given Fogarty's been ridiculously out of touch. To me, it just suggests the Dogs beat a more quality opposition last week, I think, in the Hawks. And I think, I'm leaning towards the Doggies here at Marvel. They play that ground so well, don't they?
Yeah, I tend to agree with you there. I'm just doing one multi for each day again this week, and Thursday night I've got a 9-legger just to let you know. It's paying $19.
Ooh.
So I've got Arthur Jones for 3 marks, Sam Barry 20 disposals, Zach Taylor 3 tackles, Riley Sanders 80+ fantasy points, Dawson a goal, Ed Richards 3+ marks, James Peatling 3+ tackles, Bailey Dale 25+ disposals and 85+ fantasy points. So stick that in your pipe and smoke it.
Yeah, it's delicious, mate, too. I like most of those legs too. I can't see. They all feel fairly safe. Bailey Dale in particular is absolutely flying, isn't he?
He is.
Outs, the 1-2 that he gets when he kicks it out as well. He only needs 10 possessions. He ends up with 20 essentially.
Boom. Any love in this for you? You taking anything here?
Nah, mate. I'm going to stay out of this one. I've got one that's across the whole round, which I'll run through in the next segment, and then one for the West Coast game.
All right.
So I'll keep my powder dry until we get to that part of the potty, mate.
Love that. All right, next game, Geelong and Gold Coast. Give us a rundown, mate.
Yeah, both sides are looking to end some unfortunate losing streaks. Geelong have dropped 2 straight after being, right up there in premiership markets. And Gold Coast obviously got belted by Brisbane last week. Is a bit of a fall back to grace. So Geelong have won all 9 of their last matches at GMHBA. They're a formidable force there at home, and they thrashed Gold Coast in the opening round early this season, which bodes well for them. The Suns, they've lost all 8 previous trips to Geelong. So unless they can break the hoodoo, the Suns, which I don't like them to do so after their form against Brisbane, I can see Geelong running out pretty comfortable winners here.
Yep, and I think it's going to be an interesting watch for Freo supporters to see how Geelong plays, because obviously Dockers on the bye this week, then Geelong in Perth. So it's just a nice one to keep tabs on there as well, I reckon, Nico.
I reckon too. The one knock I've got on Gold Coast briefly at the moment is their defensive side of their game. They can put enough scoring pressure on. Jed Walder's bobbed up. King's obviously playing very well. They've got some firepower down there, Long and others, Bailey Humphrey, but their backline seems to be their Achilles heel at the moment. And there's only so much the big fella, big Neanderthal bloke from Freo back in the day can do at full back there for the Suns. He's all at sea. What's his name? Sam Collins, yeah.
The big Colo, he is a beast of a man, actually. You really enjoy watching him play. He does need some help. Mate, I'm going to take a 6-leg multi here. It's paying $10. Noah Anderson for 5+ marks and 25+ disposals. Mac Andrew, 6+ marks. Your boy, the beast, Sam Collins, 5+ marks. Danger for a goal. Petrarca for a goal. And that is
Petrarca
my multi.
for a goal is juicy all year, mate.
Yep.
All over it.
He's paying $1.43 for a goal.
He's playing a lot forward too. They're resting him on the ball at times forward, so he's definitely the guy to go for. He's the value play for me.
He is. I don't know how you're getting those odds for him, but that's great. That's awesome.
We'll take it. We'll take it to the bank.
Shit, yeah. Melbourne and Essendon. This is at the G. Saturday morning for us, 11:15. The D's $1.17. The Bombers, $5.10. Let's cast our minds back to Gather Round, which was round 4, I think. I was at the game. They're at Adelaide Oval. Essendon were all over Melbourne. They absolutely had them on toast in the second half. Had a great win there. They're down on their luck now. Almost did over Carlton last weekend, which would have been great for Essendon's morale. But, of course, the D's are flying after their King's birthday game. Keziah Pickett is in supreme form. So, as much as I'd like to say my Bombers can get this done, it is very hard to see it happening.
No, you're right. The only thing I would say about the D's is they did win, but they did it far from convincingly in that King's birthday match. They turned the ball over so many different times in dangerous parts of the ground. If they play like that again, a team like Essendon or North or Richmond even could bob up and beat them. They just crucified the footy. Some are saying there's dew around and both teams turn it over, but I'll tell you what, if Essendon can intercept that forward running handball game that Melbourne play so well and hurt them on turnover, it could be a closer game than we think, to be honest.
Well, you could be right. I hope you're right. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. I think the Bombers, with the changing coach, you can see a little bit of a changing game style, and I think he's utilising a few plays that weren't being used properly before. So it could be interesting to see what Solomon does. I don't think it translates to a win this weekend, but I hope you're correct there, Nico. That's all I can say.
Yeah, a bit of optimism for you there, mate.
Thank you, mate. 7-game SGM for me on this one. It's paying $7. 7-leg, I should say, not 7-game. Kyle Langford, 6+ marks. Dan Turner, 6+ marks as well. Sparrow, 80+ fantasy points. Cade Chandler, 3+ tackles. Elijah Sardis, 3+ marks. Perkins, 15+ disposals. And Zach Merritt, 25+ disposals.
Yeah.
So another biggie there as well.
Lovely. Yeah, I had most of those guys from both teams in my multis on the weekend that all got up. So feeling pretty confident with yourself there, mate.
Oh, very nice, mate. So it's one of those things where we're both on the same page. So hopefully that's a winner. North and the Eagles. I'm going along to this this weekend. You're betting on it though. Okay. I'm staying away from it. Give us the rundown on this game.
Yeah, well, I guess that abhorrent effort from North last week, really, where, Alistair Clarkson referred to as shameful performances is exactly the best way to deem it. It was absolutely terrible, to be honest. North got smoked in all parts of the ground. Freo kicked 19 straight on them. They just looked all at sea defensively, and they were getting beaten up at clearance. So I think West Coast are a big chance here at $2.21. But I wouldn't be surprised if Alistair Clarkson has revved them up during the week and has them fired up for this one. Especially given they've got the deal with WA Tourism to try and get paid to play here. They won't be getting paid if they continue to deliver that sort of drabble. So what I would say, biggest losing margins in club history for North last week. West Coast did beat North in round 2. Harley Reid was big, 30 disposals. So I think North are a reasonable chance of getting beaten here by West Coast at 2.21. And I wouldn't be playing head-to-head. I've got a multi in this game. I'll run through very briefly, mate. It's a very straightforward one.
Yep.
It is Darling anytime. Pretty similar to formula last week, actually. Darling anytime. I've got Trembath to take 3 marks. He's been pushing up the ground. Harley 20+ is just a soda at the moment. Dersma 15. He's been having sort of 16 and 25, 18, 25. So 15+ for him. Tim Kelly's in good form at 20+, and Waterman 2+ goals. If he'll probably have 10 shots on goal and kick 2 goals 8, but we just need to get 2. $4 on the dot, mate, for that.
I would say Waterman, I think he's about to break this season open. He's had more shots than anyone this year, if you can believe it. And he's kicked 28-34. So he's just looking like he needs a tad more confidence. And I think North could deliver it to him in spades because there's no one to really play on him.
No, you're exactly right. And to be honest, if he's just getting, he's number one target. They just go through him every single time. So he's going to dominate. I think he should be kicking 2 and what looks like a pretty dry deck on Sunday here in Perth.
Love that from you. Port Adelaide, Sydney. This is happening in Adelaide Oval. Saturday evening, 5:35 for us. The Power, $3.13. Sydney, $1.37. Sydney have won 18 straight games as favourites now, so they're absolutely rolling. They knocked off St Kilda in that thriller last week thanks to Jai Sarong kicking that goal, and Isaac Heaney, 30 touches and 2 goals. So Port snapped a 4-game losing streak last weekend against the West Coast Eagles, who we've just spoken about. Look, mate, from my perspective, there's not a lot to say here. Sydney should absolutely romp it in. $1.37 is probably overs.
percentage booster for me for Sydney here. Far too much class around the ground. And Nick Blakey's in career best form, as is a number of others in that team. Isaac Heaney's the man. Just bodes for a Sydney belting here.
The Lizard. The Liz. You'd love him, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I love the Liz. He's good for multis too. He's always 20, 22 plus most weeks.
He's bloody great for it, isn't he? All right, mate. Richmond and Brizzy, take it away.
Yes, Ninja Stadium. Richmond $8.50, Brisbane $1.07. And you can see why after their return to form last week against the younger cousin there in the Gold Coast. A strong win there. Richmond absolutely demolished by Sydney 2 rounds ago. More than 100 points. So, yeah, the Tigers are at all. They're a young side. They're progressive, but I can't see them knocking off Brisbane here. This would be a nice percentage booster for Brisbane and a good opportunity to fix a few of those bugs in their game plan they've been struggling with the last few weeks. I think this is a good opportunity to build some confidence again for them. Tend
to agree with you, mate. I'm taking a multi here. 5-legger, paying $3.50. Charlie Cameron, your boy, 2+ goals. Ashcroft, 20+ disposals. Dunkley, 15+. Lefau for Richmond to go, and Jaden Short, 6+ marks. It's going to be down there a lot for Jaden Short, so I think he'll have a lot of the ball.
Yeah, he does. He's been kicking out too, so it obviously helps.
Yes, I love a kick out. A play that kicks out is a blessing for multis.
Yeah, when they don't get thrown the footy early in the first quarter and you've banked them for kick-outs, it's a bit disappointing. So I'd say that trend continues with him.
Well, that's what Merritt bloody did to our boy Archie Roberts. Disappointing.
Yeah, and Butcher as well.
And
give it back to Archie, I reckon.
Yes, give it back to Archie. You'd prefer to see him get 35 or 40, I recken, and then Merritt in the middle.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, I'll bring us home here. St Kilda versus GWS, Marvel Stadium on Sunday at 1:15. I think, look, St Kilda have been patchy with form. They're the sort of team that can knock off a big side. They almost took a big scalp last week against Sydney, as you mentioned earlier. Probably unlucky with a couple of decisions from the umpires down the stretch there too, just quietly. But they're $1.78. They meet GWS. They're outsiders at $2.08. I really like the way GWS are going at the moment. They're fresh off a big win against Melbourne and Alice Springs. Finn Callahan's absolutely flying at the moment in the midfield. He's been racking them up easily. The Giants have won 3 of their last 4. They look like they're on the bounce here, and I think they're pretty good value at $2.08, despite St Kilda playing Marvel very well. I'm on the GWS train here, the Orange Tsunami.
Love that from you. Mate, you don't get many games where you get that sort of value these days, and you're right, $2.08, the Giants can get that done. I'm with you.
They're fresh. They're fresh. And obviously Saints coming off a brutal game against Sydney last week, which was the testing material. So I've got one just to mention. I've got a monster multi run across the entire round. I'm going to quickly throw out there. So
okay, stop. Before you do that, this is a big one. Needs a drone. What's your monster multi this week?
Oh, mate. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games. All games in here. Adelaide versus Western Bulldogs. Very easy. Jordan Dawson, 20+. Rory Laird, 20+. Worrell, 20+. Cats versus Suns. Cook Miller, 20+. Lawson Humphreys for the Cats off halfback, 15. Atkins, 15. D's versus Dons. Merritt, 25. Steele, 20. D's head-to-head. North versus West Coast. Sounds like a Brownlow count. Sheasel, 25+. Luke Parker, 20+. Simpkins, 17+. And the last game, Tigers versus Brisbane. Neil, 27+. Ashcroft, 20+. Dunkley, 16. And Brizzy head-to-head. Paying a stonking $18 for the multi.
Love it. Love it.
So just have one of those across the weekend, mate. And I'm telling you what, just a couple of safe legs in each round. It just keeps you entertained for the whole entire weekend. So that's why I love them.
Brilliant from you. Absolutely love that. I'm going to be getting on that as well. So let's have a win. That'll go a good way to getting us to the grand final this year, which we're going to talk about now, mate. Before I get into this week's bet, hard luck story. Run us through what happened last weekend.
It was disgusting. It was a disaster, mate. Obviously, we started with Geelong to beat Adelaide, and Adelaide knocked them off by a point. We then went to the Dogs, the Hawthorn to beat the Doggies, and the Dogs won by 6 points. Then in the Sydney game, I thought, lay down the air here. Sydney only scraped through by 2 points. And Freo obviously knocked off North. So we're 2 from 4, and the 2 legs we lost were under $1.20.
Ouch. Absolutely.
So anyway, we're back to $7.50.
$7.50. That's all right.
Yeah, you're gonna get us back up to 1,000 here this week, I reckon. So.
Well, yeah, I think this is the week to fight back. Let's be completely honest here. We really need to do something to get us back up to the 1,000. So I'm going to take $250. If this loses, Nick, we're down to 500. So the pressure is on. This bet is going to be a 3-legger, and we're going all head-to-heads. I think this is the safest way. And looking at this round, I would actually say we're finally starting to get a little bit of value back in head-to-heads because for a lot of rounds, I reckon for a good 10 weeks, the favourites were just winning without question. Now there's a bit of variety back in our betting. So I like this.
So, few upsets around the buy round, isn't there? So they start to go out a little bit in the odds.
Which is great. For us. So we've got Geelong versus Gold Coast. We're going to take Geelong head-to-head, $1.27.
Yeah, haven't beaten them there in Geelong, so that sounds pretty safe, doesn't it?
That sounds very safe. This pains me, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to take Melbourne head-to-head to beat the Bombers at $1.17. You can't really argue that that's not going to happen.
No,
and the Swannies, the bet of the round at $1.37 versus Port Adelaide. I don't care if it's at Adelaide Oval. I don't care if it's in the the sandy desert. Sydney, you're going to win this. You know,
it's in Alice Springs, it doesn't matter.
Exactly. Anywhere, anyhow, that's going to get us $2.13 and pop us back to that 1,000 mark. So fingers crossed.
Yeah, lovely, mate. Then we'll put the whole 1,000 on something next week at 5s and get the $5,000 in 2 weeks and done.
Exactly. See, that's the way it's done. Mate. That's us done. Any other business before we wrap it up today?
No, not at all, mate. We're hoping we can get to this 5K. Just the main shout out is get onto Instagram, have a look at those multis, get them on earlier in the week. I noticed a few of the multis we put up last Friday or Thursday evening. By the time they got the bets on Saturday, a few people were saying they were down, 50 to 70 cents on the dollar. So you've just got to get on, mate. As soon as it gets up on Instagram, get on, get the bets on for the weekend, lock and load them before you forget, or you try to put them on with 5 minutes to go and you're losing the good money odds in terms of odds. So have a crack.
That's a really good sell from you. One more thing before we go. I just want to give you a very quick punting story from the other week. I didn't get to tell you this the last few weeks because we've been we've been sort of all over the shop with when we're recording and everything, but you need to hear this. So the Collingwood West Coast Eagles game, Harley Reid's 50th, that was a big celebration, remember?
Yeah.
For some reason on Sportsbet, they had a Scott Pendlebury market. There was something about he'd played 433 games. There was some record that he'd broken. I'd never heard about it. I don't know about you. Anyway, Alana was on Sportsbet and she went to the Scott Pendlebury markets and there was one, which was the highest paying of the lot. I was paying 100 to 1. It was Scott Pendlebury to get 20 plus disposals and Collingwood to win by exactly 10 points. With 3 minutes to go, Pendlebury was on about 21 or 22 possessions and Collingwood were up by 10 points. Boy, oh boy, did me and Alana celebrate when that came up. She only had $5 on it, but it was $500, Nico. It's a good bet.
Dude, forget about reading the form. Alana's Nostradamus style punting activity. That's what we need to follow.
Why are we even bothering with this podcast? Just get her on.
Yeah. Just get Alana doing a live reel on the Punt Powers bloody Instagram page and tell her to whack a few big multis up for the punters. And, no science in it. Just sheer ass.
Get it done. All right, mate. You have a great weekend. You make sure you get it done. Win some dollars. Yes. I'm going to do the same and we'll be back at it again next week. Yeah, might see if it'll be a Saturday night and a punt at the pub or something, mate. I like where your head's at. That's Punt Pals out. See you later. See ya, Mark. Sports with our expert spins from football fields to courtside drills. Punt Pals podcast, we pay the bills.